People aren't going to take your dreams seriously for a multitude of reasons, right? But from my own personal experience, I've learned a few things. It showed me some, characteristics and some colors about just people in general, and just the way that they think. And you can take it as a good thing, you can take it as a bad thing. It's just how you apply this to your perspective, right? But I feel like one of the main things that I have to remember, and I think that you guys should also remember, is that naturally people can't see your vision, right? Your vision is constructed of all of your experiences, right? Meaning the things that you've saw, the things that you've heard, the things that you've read, the people that you've talked to, etc. And your vision begins to start getting sculpted around a certain area, right? Other people don't have those same influences and those same things sculpting their vision to match yours perfectly. Like they would literally have to be a perfect matched copy of you in order for them to see your vision with the same level of clarity that you can see it. And that's even if you get in a relationship with somebody and you feel like you guys share the same vision. Your vision is probably going to be a lot clearer on what you actually want, right? And it's about how you're articulating it to the person that you're with. But anyways, when it comes to people seeing your vision, they can't necessarily see all of it. But what people can see is what you've done so far. What people can see is the results that you have right now and up to this point. So people are usually judging you on where you're standing right now, not where you're coming from, not anything like that, or not even where you're going majority of the time, right? They're judging you so solely based upon what you've done. And if you haven't done anything that's brought significant results or even results, right? It's going to be hard to have somebody take it seriously, especially if they haven't been exposed to whatever you're doing, right? I think we're Gen Z, 22, whatever the case may be, right? We have so much more access to things, right? And new opportunities unfolding right in front of our face, right? So when we're involved in these spaces and we see other people and we're talking to other people and having these type of conversations, right? Naturally, you're going to be accepted. You're kind of going to be nurtured because people can see kind of a couple steps ahead of you. Now, if you're interacting with somebody who has no idea about what you're doing, the field you're in, or even just the energy that you're operating from, because an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter what business you're in, whether you're an artist, you're selling music, selling merch, selling homes. I really don't care, right? There's a spirit behind that. If they haven't been exposed to that spirit, they're not going to be able to understand you because they can't even see the next steps. They can only see what you're showing them, right? So they're kind of walking the journey with you. So you can't, be upset about it. And excuse me, it's very easy to get your ego involved, right? Because when people don't see you or appreciate you, or you don't feel as if your art, your craft, your business, whatever, is being validated to the extent that you feel like, it's easy to get very down on yourself. Your ego will take over and start telling you that you aren't good enough, that you're a loser, you're a nobody, like all these other type of just random insecurities will just start creeping in. And that's your ego, right? Your ego that's crazy because people say your ego is trying to protect you. Now, your ego can tell you something that, how can I put this? Your ego will tell you you're not good enough. You're not experienced enough. You don't look good enough. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're not enough, right? You don't have enough money, something. Your ego will tell you that, right? To kind of make you sit back in your comfort zone because your ego perceives your comfort zone as, you know, less risky, safer for you, right? You have to get that out your head, right? You have to acknowledge those negative thoughts, those negative trains of thinking, and all that other type of stuff, and move from an empowered energy. Even if you, let's say, a lot of people like have jobs, right? Because I talked about this in my last video. If you have a job, for one, right, and let me say this first and foremost, right? There's jobs everywhere. If you're at a job that you don't like, or you're doing something that you don't see fulfillment in, switch paths, right? And I know this seems like crazy. People say, the economy's messed up, um, all this other type of stuff. But bro, money's everywhere. Everybody has something, right? Even if they only have a penny to their name, right? Dead broke. Or if somebody has $1 million, right? Everybody has some form of currency. Now it's just whether or not you're valuable enough for them to want to give it to you in exchange for whatever you're offering them, right? So there's jobs and stuff out there for you. So if you're doing something that you don't love and it's really draining you, please switch paths. It's not necessarily worth it. But while you're doing the job, make sure you're doing it with a vision, right? Don't let the societal norms and all the pressure from, I don't care if it's parents, teachers, friends, kids, I don't care. Don't let them scare you into a way of living that you truly don't want to live, right? A lot of these people truly do want to see the best for you. But if they can only perceive the best at a certain level, then it's going to be hard for them to instill that next level into you. Now, I'm not saying that, it doesn't happen, right? Because every parent, especially, I feel like they're responsible for this. They do pass it down. I know I've been passed down a lot of game, and I'm very thankful for my different influences. But I can even say with my parents, right? When I got into what I do creatively, entrepreneurial wise, right? They understood the basics of, I don't want to get a job, right? That kind of seemed like the basics of what they understood, right? Now, the other side of that was the creative aspect, the entrepreneurial aspect of it, right? They've seen people, get into those spaces, but they necessarily haven't done it themselves. So when you haven't done it yourself and you haven't, went through a level of evolution into pouring that energy into you, trying to direct somebody else to take a step that you haven't even took, it's going to be very difficult, right? So yeah, I hope I didn't get too much off track, but you have to surround yourself with influences that are cohesive to what you're trying to build, and accept people. They aren't all always trying to tear you down and be this devil and this demon, and they don't love you, they're unsupportive. No, they're supporting you in the best ways that they think that they can, right? And if they don't support you, they don't support you, right? But usually the people who support you, you will see them try supporting you. And it may not be in the way that you probably have wanted them to, but the support's there, the support's showing, right? So don't get discouraged on yourself. Have a vision, have a sense of alignment, while you're at these jobs, while you're doing these things, while you're just interacting with real life and, quote unquote, the world. Because this is all perspective. I also want to say too, there's people, and I know they say comparison is the thief of joy, but there's people living a life where your worries are not their worries, right? And I'm not saying that they don't also have worries, right? But It's crazy. Tate made a very good example, right? And it correlated to money, but I looked at it as everything in life, right? It was like there's some people out here who are struggling to pay their $500 rent, right? Meanwhile, he has 30 different supercars. This person over here thinks the process of making $500 is difficult. This person over here is spending millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Now, let alone lets me know it's a perspective shift. I don't like the victim mentality, so I don't give that perspective to my audience, my supporters, my friends, artists in general, entrepreneurs. I believe if you're in a situation that you don't like, you have the power to change it. And it's not until you really dig down and pull out different layers of yourself and take action and allow time to unfold that you will see that it's a perspective shift, right? Because the process of healing isn't, the straight up path. A lot of the times, the things that you want, the things that you desire is on the other side of a limiting belief that you have, right? Once you can highlight that one specific limiting belief that's in between you and what you're asking for, you'll get straight to it. And it's like that with everything in your life. Everything that you want in your life that hasn't came and manifested and brought itself into fruition, there's one limiting belief that's blocking it. And it may be different, right? The thing that's going to get you one thing may not be the thing that's going to get you, the other thing in your life, whether that's love, money, faith, peace of mind. I don't care, because we go on a lot of trips as humans, whatever you want, right? So on the other side of that limiting belief. So you have to believe in yourself and not necessarily allow other people to deter you away from that, because once they see it, they're going to understand. But it's up to you to take those steps and figure out what you need to do to bring it. You got to prove it to yourself first. And that's a big thing. We be trying to prove shit to other people. You got to prove it to yourself first. You got to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I can do this. I got to prove it to you, me, myself, that I can see through on what I told myself that I can, right? And just in the process of y'all doing that, bro, y'all are going to see so much stuff unfold. The process of betting on yourself, it is a emotional ride. I'm not going to lie to you, because you're going to get triggered. Things are going to start happening. But I mean this from the core root of my spirit. Look, I'm stuttering saying it. When you bet on yourself, God will show you exactly why betting on yourself was the exact thing you needed to do. No work ever goes unpaid, unrewarded, unseen. Nothing. No energy that you're putting out, nothing that you're manifesting, no seeds that you're planting will just stay in the dirt. It's impossible. I'm telling you. Take it from me, take it from whatever inspirations that you guys look up to for, growth, healing, prosperity, abundance, whatever the case may be. They will tell you to listen to yourself, and God will do with the rest of it. Just the process of you embedding that mindset into what you're doing, you could be making the wrong decisions, but it's from the perspective of, I'm trying to bet on myself. So even if I'm wrong, I just gotta be wrong. God will end up blessing you with you being wrong. So imagine the times that you're right. Bet on yourself. Stop trying to prove yourself to people. I love y'all.